everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum. We're back with another Monday Morning Musings episode with my co-host, JR from Horror Fiend TV.
Monday. I hate Mondays, but I do like Monday musings.
He's obligated to say that. So this is we've been doing a lot of favorites. So I told him I felt like we needed to do some least favorites. So we kind of started leaning in that. And so today we are talking our least favorite, or at least one of our least favorite, horror movie endings.
Okay, can't wait. What?
Nothing. I say all the time that horror movie endings can legitimately make or break a film. A mediocre, not so great film can become amazing based on the ending, and vice versa. You know, a phenomenal movie can come crashing into nothing because of the ending being, not great. So we've each picked one movie that we're going to say is one of our least. I won't say the least, because for me, when I don't like a horror movie ending, it's like I forget about it. And so it was really hard to go back and think on ones that I was like, I really hated this ending. So I'm just going to say one of our least favorite horror movie endings. So
I have two. I'll flip a coin. It's Monday.
Okay. So do you want me to go first, or you want to do yours first?
You can go first. I know you're going to really rip into my choice. So
he means him. I'm going to rip it to him, not the choice. So one of my least favorite horror movie endings is the new It Chapter 2. When I found out they were remaking that movie, I thought, oh God, I wonder what they're going to do with the ending, because for people who didn't get to experience that, when it was a little more the original, when it was a little more with the times, the ending to it with the spider and stuff was actually really kind of crazy, and but if you've never seen it before and you're watching it in 2022, you're going to be like, what the heck? It's kind of it's not very strong ending. So I was wondering, that was one of the first things I thought about, was oh, I wonder what they're going to do. Are they going to do another spider? Or are they going to do something different? And they did both. They still did the spider, but then Pennywise gets bullied to death. That's what happens. And I will give it to Skarsgård, though, because I watched the behind the scenes shot of this where he's very uncomfortably shoved into that space that his face is coming out of.
Oh, yeah.
And it's practical. It's not CGI. His face is really there, and he's in this so I feel he's a very committed actor. But that was one of the dumbest endings I have ever seen. And it's they go down there and they do this big show of him turning into the spider, and they're yelling at him and saying all these things, and he's just deflating into nothing. And it was not good. I didn't like that ending.
I think the problem with the first one was really good.
I agree.
With the kids, very, very good. The second one had me torn because I don't think the adults came out strong like in the original. And the fact that you start the second one with a bully scene and you end it with a bully scene.
I'm over it. The bully stuff in general. Anyway, but the ending is very weak. I didn't like the bully concept in the beginning either, and I didn't like it in the end. And he said this all-powerful thing that sent them, running to all these different cities because they were so scared of him. And they said mean things to him, and now he's gone.
I mean, think about the original. They literally ripped the spider into pieces. And then this one.
Well, and they used the slingshot and but what's true is the ending with the spider is about conquering your fear. Yes. The spider wasn't really what it was about. It was about being afraid of it and being strong enough and courageous enough and brave enough to stand up to it. That was why slingshots of rocks did what it did, because it was about saying, I'm not afraid of you anymore. But the message for this one got completely lost in translation. I don't even know, anyway.
It did, which is unfortunate.
It is, because up to that point, it wasn't a horrible movie, and the first one, I mean, the first one was amazing. Did you know that the first one is the highest grossing horror movie of all time?
Well, think about it, the first one actually hit the restart button on the horror genre. That's when it showed that the horror genre couldn't make money in the theaters. It could draw
Yeah.
fans, and it brought
Well,
a
and
lot of
now you
people
got
out.
Terrifier 2 making millions and millions of dollars.
And they're gonna come out with a three. They're gonna come out with a three. I read it today, but supposedly it's gonna be so big they're gonna cut the three into two movies. So it's gonna be a three and a four.
Okay. I still hadn't seen them, so
It's gory.
I gotta wait for the hype to get out of my head because I'm gonna go in expecting something crazy. I'm gonna be like, this is what everybody's losing their minds about, like Barbarian. But anyway, moving
No,
on.
no. Well,
What's
yeah.
your
No.
what's your movie ending?
Well, on that note, all
Figure I'll
right.
make you mad before you make me mad.
Okay, so as us horror fans, M. Night Shyamalan has a tendency. The guy is very creative, has a good way of telling a story. However, he has a tendency of sometimes losing the fans in certain movies towards the end.
Mhm.
So for me, I love the concept of the village. The village, and was she in this? No, Jessica Chastain. Who is it? The girl is it? Oh my god,
Bryce Dallas Howard.
which I love her.
I love her too. You know who else is in that?
Yeah, your boy. What's his name?
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody. You know who else is in that? What was it? One of the is it Jaquan Phoenix?
Oh my
Yeah,
God, you're right.
he plays
The boyfriend or the love
boyfriend.
interest, whatever you want to
Yes,
call him. I totally forgot about that.
good
Decent
cast.
signs too.
Yeah, it was, and yeah, I mean, for me, very good concept. The fact that you had these people who thought they were living in old times, being secluded into this one area because the elders told a story about these things that that we should not talk about that basically come at night. And I love the whole twist of it. I love the fact that you had these people who basically sheltered, and then the love interest gets hurt, so they send, which is kind of odd. They send the blind girl.
It's not odd. It makes
No, no,
perfect.
I know it did, but it was just it was. I didn't mind it though, but you send the blind girl out, and then when she gets to this one area, there's a patrolman that's basically
And you're like,
after.
what?
Yeah, I'm like, what just did we time travel? What just happened?
What
I
kind of magic wood is this? Like,
I don't get me wrong. I love the concept of it. I thought it was. I mean, to be honest, I think if I had money, I'd probably do the same freaking thing. Get this massive property gated up, and
and say F it, yeah.
yeah. But for me, it did throw me off in that route because I'm like, what the hell just happened? And you learn to understand that all the adults, the elders in the village, lost somebody to violence, lost somebody to murder and crime.
Greed and yeah.
Yes. So they basically decided to shelter their families, get rid of technology, get rid of everything that would, bring them into the modern world. And I mean, it was a good concept. The ending was just like, it's like I know you're gonna disagree with me, but it was just like, what? I mean, that's for me. That's I don't know. Go ahead, start wailing.
No, I memean, I really loved that. The Village is one of my favorite films by him. I love the concept. It's something that's God, I couldn't have seen it coming, and the way they explain it, to me, it was like they waited until just the right amount, because like when it first happens, you're so caught off guard that you're like, I am so confused. But you kind of grow to expect that. After The Sixth Sense, no one went into an M. Night movie like being like, I know everything that's going to happen. We get to the end of his films and we do expect something different because
Yes.
that's kind of like the precedent that he's set. And so when you get to the end of it, you're like, okay, so this is the crazy stuff that I was expecting or looking for. And then she goes back and it's like they tell the story and like it's about all the stuff about finding the, like when they find the suits in the shed, like the monster suits, and which
Yeah.
is really reckless. But I think I just this concept of like we have all of the capabilities of living this life and keeping our families from having to live this other life, and like that's what we're going to do. And I thought, and they put it in the middle of like a protected forest, like people
Yeah.
are not allowed in there, so there's like little to like the margin of like people coming into there is going to be really small. And so I loved it. I thought it was so crazy inventive. And then I love that they are innovative. I love that they like she goes back and like it's like, well, okay, so now what? Because now we like know. And it was, I don't know, it was just so good. And man, when it shows, and I forget, I'm trying a total blank on his name, the character that Adrian Brody played, which by the way, best acting ever. Like he did such a phenomenal, there's like nothing that man can't do. So when his character goes after her,
Yeah.
that was like one of the most like heartbreaking like moments for me. I was like, because I didn't expect that. That's obviously what was, because that's before the reveal, right? It's like he's chasing her through the woods in the suit, but we don't know it's him, and we don't know that she's about to go across, and then she trips him after she sets that trap, and it's like, oh my god, that whole thing was just like so anxiety ridden for me. It was so emotional. I felt so bad for him. I felt bad for her because she didn't know what she had just done. I don't know. I loved it. I loved every second of that movie. I thought it was so good.
Like for me, I kind of wanted the ending to have like when she gets to the point where she's almost lost. Bill Pullman, I think that's the guy who was her father.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, if he was waiting for her near the gate or something, and basically leads her to go, let's go get the supplies. I would have been good with that because technically he's already almost passing it over to her as it is. She's going to be the person who's going to be the lead of it. But for me, it's just like if they would have did that, because then he could have sat there and explained to her a little bit more, and I'm sure she would have kept the secret going, and basically, it would have been a cooler ending for me because then you have the whole thing coming back around. It's just for me when I saw the cop, I'm like, what?
I think for me, like the reason that I don't think that that would have been better is because I think when we try to over rationalize situations and not think about what humans would actually do in those real life situations, because if this is the life you've been living because of the amount of fear and disdain you have for the outside world, and it's that important that you could, I mean, have a grown-ass kid, like a grown-ass kid, and like all these other spring off families from how long you've been there, like you are going to still like hold on to that secret as long as you possibly can. And the only way to do that is to pretend like you don't know the truth. And so like it wouldn't, to me, I would have been more confused if the father had shown up, because it would have been like, that doesn't make any sense. You just spent all this time and hurting other people and potentially killing other people to keep this giant ass secret. And now you're just like here hanging out, like waiting. That would have made me really mad. That wouldn't have worked for me.
But see, that's why this is what M. Night Shyamalan does, though.
Yeah.
People always split the endings of his films.
I think except The Sixth Sense, right? Everybody loves that
The
one.
Sixth Sense, everybody loves Sixth Sense.
But everything else is divided.
That's the thing with M. Night Shyamalan. He's hit or miss. When he hits, he hits. When he misses bad. Like I refuse to watch Old because I heard so many bad things about
I
that
haven't
movie.
seen it for the same reason. I'm like, God.
No, they Rick and Joe reviewed it, and
I was gonna say I thought it was on y'all's channel.
Yeah, they destroyed that movie. Well deserved destroyed, but I had no interest in watching it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I like his creative mind. I kind of root for him, but yes, it's just the endings. The endings, you're like, do what? Like in it was Glass or Mr. Glass. I think it was Glass, right? The one with Samuel Jackson when he brings everybody back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Invincible, another good movie.
No, Invincible's the other one with Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. Yeah, see, he has so much.
I haven't seen Glass. It's a trilogy, right?
It's a trilogy.
Glass. Yeah, I haven't seen Glass. Glass is the last one.
It's just the same thing. Disappointing ending.
Yeah.
It is disappointing.
Same thing. Not as The Village, because The Village ending is flawless. There's nothing wrong with that movie at all.
No. See. The flawless ones are Sixth Sense and Split. I love Split. I love the ending of Split.
You didn't say, but you didn't like Lady in the Water that much.
I did like Lady in the Water. I say that's one of his most. I give it the most creative movies because the
I
fact
love
that.
Signs. Signs fucking terrified of aliens. That fucking birthday scene, that shit still haunts
But
me.
see that's another thing. Signs is like one of those movies where once it got towards the end, you're like,
Nope, I still loved it.
for me, it's like, but that's why it's Monday.
Anyways, yes, those are one of our like least favorite. I don't think it's probably not my least favorite, but I can't think. It's so hard to think of them in the moment because I know a lot of horror movies have really pissed me off with the endings. But that one was one that I like. I do kind of remember being like, "What the hell?" Like I was just like, "It's all come down to this." Like it just seemed kind of crazy for it. Chapter 2, the new one, but yeah. So those are our least favorite horror movie endings.
Yes.
You should tell us yours in list format because I'm sure everyone has more than one. Unless the village is on it, and then just don't comment at all.
No, you should let us know so we could comment what we thought by your
Yeah.
selection.
Yeah, I'm obviously kidding. Comment anyway, even if it's the village. Okay. Well, we hope you guys have a good Monday. Enjoy your week coming up, and JR and I will be back in 2 weeks with our next episode, which is
everybody.
Holidays. Yeah. So
Holidays.
we'll see you then.